Okay. You want to sit down?
Sure.
What's up, everybody? Well, we're just getting started, so I doubt there's anybody here, but
Yeah,
let's make the screen bigger. And
hello to the future people of the world.
Does that say something? Hi, please.
Hi from Kyoto. Hello, Kyoto. She's wearing a flower just for you.
We know where.
I love Sanjay C.
Joining
He's the
from.
best guy in the world. The whole world.
Okay.
And I like when he plays music. When he plays music, it makes my heart beat faster. Yay!
Well, at least Kyoto's here. All right, camera's up there.
Okay. But I will be looking at myself, so.
Let's see. Let's play some music while we're waiting. Hey, Cliff. Thanks for joining. By the way, this is a live Q&A, so if you have questions, ask away. France. Bonjour, Cliff.
Bonjour!
Ça va?
Je m'appelle Darty. So, what time is it in France right now? You're pretty late, aren't you?
So what's going on, Cliff? Are you a musician too?
5 people on. 5 people.
Oh, 5 people are on. Hey, if you're just joining, please let me know where you're from. Just
12:32 a.m.
So just let me know what country you are in right now. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I'm in the United States and it is around 6:30 p.m. Right now. It's a Sunday. Cliff says, yes, I play music. Awesome. Hi, Elaine. Hey, great. Elaine, you joined. Nice to see you. The Choco Taco Coasters. What's going on?
Hi.
Let me know where you guys are from. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask away. Dominican Republic.
Any of us.
Radio Libra, de Contaminación. Wow. More France. Wow, it's kind of late in France, huh?
I know. What were you guys doing tonight?
What's up, Moss Sounds of Main Stage? By the way, right here with me is my wife, Darty. And
hello.
You can follow her on Instagram at only1 and Darty, DHARTI.
Because my name means Earth, and there's only one Earth, just like there's only one me.
Oh, and this is Kyoto, Kyoto.
Kyoto, like the city in Japan.
Choco Taco is from Missouri. Awesome.
Hello, hello.
Have you ever been to Missouri? St. Louis is in Missouri.
Yes.
Hey, yeah.
By the way,
Missouri has some good barbecue.
No, my favorite place in Missouri is the City Museum. It's so fun. Like the outdoor like slides, and you like it's like a huge like playground for adults and children. It's really fun. Look it up.
I'm just playing the piano while we're hanging out.
Well, you're not playing the piano, she is.
Oh yeah. City Museum is great.
Yeah,
yes,
it is so much fun. Loved that place.
All right. So if you have any questions, just type them in there and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. But I will talk about a few of the things that I've been really excited about lately. One thing is, if you didn't see the video already, but there is one. I packed up the other one of these, but the Touche by Expressive E.
So this is cool.
This is the original one that was pretty expensive because you could connect it to your hardware and stuff, but they just released a new one, which is only $229, which is a really great deal for this awesome device. So this is something, so the new version of this is really cool, and I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be playing that in more upcoming videos. I also really like my new mini keyboard, which is the Arturia Minilab Mark II. And it's small and light, and it's got all these cool knobs. Oh, this is Rome.
So cute.
You've probably seen all these people in my videos, but now you see the whole family.
Look at this. I wish someone took a picture of us.
Take a picture.
Okay.
If you're just joining, let me know where you're from. Just type it in there. And if you have any questions, go ahead and type in your questions too.
I like smothering my animals. They're so cute.
So I was talking about, all right, Kyoto likes to play the piano. So I was talking about this. Oh, Moss Sounds of Main Stage was about to ask about the cat. Long Island, New York.
He's back. What's your question about the cat?
So yeah, the Arturia Minilab Mark II. I'm really excited about this. If you saw one of my latest videos, the reason I'm most excited is because this goes really well with Analog Lab, which is their collection of vintage synths, which I'm really into at the moment. And these knobs help control all those awesome filters and effects on those vintage synths. So I'm really excited about this. I didn't need the keyboard portion. I honestly wish they would just sell this upper part right here. Actually, I don't even need the pads, just these. If they were mapped to their synths, I almost feel like cutting it right
Don't
here.
do that. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it is nice. It's a nice white too.
I don't use it.
So Choco Taco says, I'm looking to get my first MIDI keyboard. Should I get the Arturia Minilab or the Launch Key 49? I play piano, so I was thinking about getting the 49, but I've used the Minilab and love it. So Choco Taco, that's a really good question. If you are a pianist, I would recommend getting more keys, because if you have fewer keys, you are going to miss the ones that you don't have. So get more keys in whatever you get. Arturia makes larger keyboards as well. And if you can do without the drum pads, they have a bunch of keyboards, I think, that don't have drum pads but have a bunch of knobs. The Launch Key is a really great keyboard as well. I'd say this, it kind of depends on what you're using these keyboards with. If you have, let's say, a bunch of Native Instruments plugins, then I actually would recommend that you go with the Native Instruments keyboard, because they make the complete control line of keyboards, which are really awesome. If you have Arturia plugins, then it's great to go with the Arturia. Unfortunately, there isn't just one keyboard that works seamlessly with all these plugins. I really wish there was. So it kind of depends on what you're going to be using them most for. But Launch Key is a great keyboard as well. All right. Just because it appeared in Sanjay's photos. Oh, that's nice. What MIDI keyboard do you recommend to start recording music? Well, okay, kind of like the question before, but if you're just starting out, what MIDI keyboard would you start using? I would say start with something small and cheap, especially if you're not an experienced pianist. Because you want to get a few, because you might not know what you really need and what you really like playing just yet. So you don't want to invest in something and then later on not be using all of its features, all of its sounds. You might spend a lot on a keyboard that comes with a lot of sounds built in, and then realize that there are so many plugins out there that have all the sounds you need, and you can keep collecting more and more plugins, and you never use the sounds that came with your keyboard anymore. So I always recommend start cheap, start with something that feels good to you. And just if you have a local music store, go out and try a few of them. But you can get a really good MIDI keyboard for around $100, $150. So there's a lot of choices out there. Also, the Seaboard block, if you have seen my videos, I've got so much of this stuff kind of put away
all
right
over
now.
the place.
But Roly's Seaboard block is an amazing keyboard. So you can use it as a MIDI controller, but the really great thing about Roly keyboards is that you get so much more expressiveness, control from those keys, because they're not just like the traditional keyboard or piano keys. You can slide and glide on them. And it just makes some of those sounds by Roly just sound amazing. I'm in love with Roly products, as you probably have seen in some of my videos too. All right, about the Minilab. How is the finishing? What is finishing? How is the finishing? I don't know what finishing is. I got the MK1 version, but a bit cheap, but it's still useful. Well, if you're talking about the MK2 versus the MK1, I think the MK1 is just fine if you're just using it as a MIDI controller. If you want to use some of the features of Analog Lab 3, I think they have improved the control of Analog Lab or any of the other Arturia plugins with the new Mark II version. But I would get something a little bit different if I were you, because you already have the Arturia. Get something else that's kind of fun. All right. Do I use GarageBand iOS? Yes, Cliff, I do. I don't use it as much as I used to, because now I use Ableton Live for the most part. But when you're like traveling, or if you just have an iPad with you, there's so much you can do with GarageBand on iOS. And I actually created a video some time ago on creating a song just with loops on GarageBand for iOS. And it's just an easy way to put down a song while you're traveling, or if you need something really portable. But to get everything out, there's so much more that's been created, so much more software plugins and things like that that are available for Windows and Mac. So you might be missing out on some of that. But GarageBand iOS is definitely an excellent way to start. I have Ableton and I know piano. That's awesome, Radio Libra. I used to, and I love it. All right. So Cliff, do you use GarageBand on Mac or just GarageBand on iOS? We'll wait for Cliff's answers. And in the meantime,
we're going to take a quick break. No, I'm just kidding. I wish we had ads.
Okay, Cliff uses both. Yeah, I am a Mac user, and I've created several videos on using MacBooks for music production. So you may have seen some of those on my channel as well. Cliff uses Logic Pro on the Mac. Logic Pro is an amazing program. It is expensive, and there are so many other digital audio workstations out there. Hi, Lux. If you're just joining, by the way, let me know where you're from. Welcome, Lux.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so something else. I've got some other exciting stuff. I've got a trip coming up. You'll see some previews of that on my channel very soon.
If you knew where he was going.
Lux is from San Diego. Awesome.
Hello.
So I get another question a lot is I get a lot of comments on different videos, and some people ask me some very interesting questions. One of the questions I got recently, I thought was a really good one, was what's the hardest part about making music? And as you know, for those of you who follow my YouTube channel, I am now putting out 2 or 3 videos every week. And with most of those videos, I'm creating brand new music. And I usually can't create the entire song. So I just create like a snippet of it, just enough to demonstrate something new or to teach something that I've learned. And I think the hardest part is actually finishing a song. And I think everybody has this problem.
And it's such a tease. It's so annoying because the snippet is like crazy awesome. And I'm like, where's the rest of it?
But that's the hard part, is that you get inspired and you start the creativity process and you put down some interesting stuff. And then you get stuck. You don't know, well, I've got this really cool thing that sounds like the chorus, but then now I need a verse, and that just gets everybody stuck. But I think I actually have the luxury of creating small pieces of music and not completing them because of my YouTube channel. So it actually works out for me. But I know it's tough for me, and I know it's tough for
That's
a lot of
what's
other
important. If it works out for you.
Radio Libra says, thanks. So is GarageBand or Ableton better for the Rolly? Another really good question.
I'll answer that one. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, I actually would say the GarageBand is better for one reason, because Rolly products use this technology called MPE, MIDI polyphonic expression, and MPE works in GarageBand. It also works in Logic Pro and a bunch of other DAWs, but it doesn't work in Ableton. So there are some workarounds for getting the Seaboard block to work in Ableton, but it's not like you can just load up Ableton, connect your Seaboard block, and everything just works perfectly.
Like you press a button and it's like magic.
Yeah, there are some workarounds for it, but if you're trying to choose between GarageBand and Ableton and you really want to use the Seaboard block, go with GarageBand. That's a great question. And if you are, but if you do decide to go with Ableton, I have another great video. I'm not just promoting my other videos here.
I mean, this is what the lives are for, right?
But if you're trying to set up your Seaboard block with Ableton, I have a video about how to actually get the MPE to work. It's quite a tedious process, but you can do it.
Do you play in a band? Me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm like the head frontliner singer. Is that what they're called?
Front man.
The front woman. I'm the front woman. I also like sing real quick, and then I run to the drums and I'll play the drums. And then when I'm done with that, I'll run to the guitar and I'm like, and then I go back and sing, and then that's the band.
Wow.
The one-woman show.
What's your band called?
The one-woman show.
Oh, okay. Well, Cliff, I don't play in a band. I used to be a part of several bands, and that kind of stopped because I wanted to get into songwriting more and music production. And there was a lot I needed to learn, and I kind of did a lot of that on my own. And then I started this YouTube journey because I started to learn a lot. And I said, I wish, when I was starting out, I wish somebody was sharing this information. So why don't I just do the same right now? As I learn, I make YouTube videos and share whatever I know with you all out there.
Well, it's really nice too, because now you have this platform where it's easy to share. Where before, when you were in those bands or you were about to get a record deal, by the way, and all these other things that you guys don't know about him, he's like crazy talented. During that time, there wasn't YouTube and all this stuff. So it was really hard to kind of share unless you're writing an email or mail.
Yes.
Or meeting someone in person.
Yes, absolutely.
So
if you are just joining, let us know where you're from. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in the little chat thing, and I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Questions don't just have to be musical, Do you have any questions for Rome, Kyoto, me, him, both of us?
Because Rome is just waiting to answer all your questions. Moss Sounds of Mainstage says Traction is also interesting for recording MPE. Yes, it is, and Traction isn't very expensive either. And I've heard, I haven't used it myself, but I've heard it is a really good digital audio workstation. Again, big smile from Radio Libra. All right, so what else? I want to talk about some other things that I've just added to my studio. One, interestingly enough, is a subwoofer. And a video I made a long time ago, I made about how to choose studio monitors, your studio speakers. And I use the PreSonus Eris 4.5s. They are very inexpensive speakers, but I highly, highly, highly recommend them. You can get them on Amazon, I think, for $230, which is super cheap. But they sound great, and they're really, really great for mixing music, for music production. And the only thing that they were missing was a lot of the low end, especially some of the sub frequencies, which is why I bought the subwoofer. I wish I could show you. I'll show you in a later video.
Well, it'll woof in a little bit and you'll know it's there.
I bought the matching subwoofer, which is I think another $200. It's all very inexpensive. You don't have to have very expensive studio monitors out there. Just get something that sounds decent to you, and that should be enough. Once you learn the sound of your studio monitors and how it then sounds on different stereos that you play it on, you're good to go. You don't need something super expensive. If you can afford something expensive, hey, way to go, but you don't need it.
Save that money for something else. Get a nice meal. Go travel somewhere.
Lux Elliott suggests Bitwig. Yes, Bitwig is also really good for Seaboards and light pads and stuff like that because it's MPE compatible fully.
Well, let me read this one. Moss, Sounds of Main Stage says, to react to what you said just before, hats off about the fact that you're always creating original tracks to highlight the topics of your videos.
Thank you, Moss. That's a nice compliment.
Very nice. Thank you.
It is tough to do it, but I have so much fun doing it, and it forces me to learn something new and forces me to focus on how I could actually explain what I've just learned to my viewers. It's actually a fun process, but it takes a lot of time. I do have a day job, and almost every minute that I spend at home is spent working on these videos. Or the music.
Like, seriously, he works over full-time hours, comes home, we'll eat real quick, we walk the dog, we'll have a little bit of me time. Me time. We're one unit. Us time. And then that's all it is. In here, in the living room, making music, listening to music. I'm running around with the pets. And then you get to see the final result.
But you know what? It takes a lot of time, mostly because I have a lot of preparation to do to share what I've learned and to demo what I've learned. But I think YouTube is a really great platform if you're just sharing your music. So if you guys are making music, share it, put it out there, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram, somewhere where other people can hear it. You'll be surprised. Sometimes we think that, well, nobody wants to hear my music, or there's just a small audience. You will really be surprised. There's an audience for everything out there.
Exactly.
And you have your own sound, and you got to go share that sound out there. Open a SoundCloud account. I actually prefer YouTube and Instagram for sharing music too. So consider it. Share your music out there.
Yeah. And with that said, like, see, even this is an impromptu live. We weren't really planning on this, and we're just like, all right, hour and a half before, okay, let's just go live randomly. And we have quite a few of you here. Now, it's not in the thousands, but that really doesn't matter. There's an audience, whether it's one or two.
There you go.
Or a million.
And Miss Antidote joined us from London. And she asks, what's your musical background? Good question. My musical background, let's see. I started in music when I was 5 years old. I started learning piano, and I had classical training for 15 years. So classical piano training, I have, I played with an orchestra a long time ago. And but then at a certain point, I really started getting interested in music recording and music production. And I then taught myself most of the music production. Oh, and singing too. I joined a couple bands, and I sang in the bands. I wrote songs for the band, learned the guitar, drums, and played a little bit of bass. The piano is my main instrument, but now music production is so cool and so much fun that anybody can do it, and it's so easy to learn music production these days. So that is my musical background.
Here, play for 30 seconds. Play something nice.
It's not very loud, I'm sorry, because all right.
I was almost in.
We're back. All right. We had another question from Cliff. I have the Roland AX09 Lucina. Have you tried this synth? No. Oh, something I'm really, really excited about is I'm looking for a synthesizer, a hardware synthesizer. And I'm really interested in the synthesizers that Sequential makes, especially the Prophet 6. So I'm looking into that because I really want to learn how to use a hardware synth very well. And as usual, as I learn it, I will share it with you guys. There's another question from Alexi. Hi, Alexi. He asks, how does a Seaboard feel compared to the Minilab and Touche? Those are three very, very different devices. So the Touche, I wouldn't even say, you know, some people see me playing this and they think that just having this Touche gives you MPE control, and it doesn't. It kind of
you
replaces...
just press a button and you teleport to a different country.
Actually, what you do, these kind of replace several knobs that you would have on any other MIDI controller. But this one gives you a push here, and then a left and a right. And it depends on how hard you're pushing it, the sound changes more or less.
Sanjay, keep it PG.
Now, that's the Touche. So the Touche, you can't just play this alone. You need to have a MIDI controller keyboard to make this work. So you have the keyboard, and then you play this along with the keyboard. So you can't have that just alone. The Minilab, which is this keyboard here, is a traditional, inexpensive MIDI controller keyboard. It's got small keys, so the keys are small, and it really just plays more like a piano. So you tap it and it makes sounds, and you can just tap it harder and then make it louder.
Tap it harder.
Okay, you told me to keep this PG. The Seaboard is very different. It has, is my light pad out there? Yes. All right. So,
is this a light pad? Because I don't see the lights on.
Oh, we can turn the lights on. All right.
Oh, there you go.
This is the light pad. It's made by Rolly, just like the Seaboard block, but this is the square pad version of it.
By the way, did you see our Stranger Things theme music with this? It's super cool.
It's another very cool video that I've got out with the Stranger Things theme music. All right, so the Seaboard uses the same technology as the light pad. It's pressure sensitive, and you can also slide and glide around, and your sound changes according to what you're doing with this. So just like the light pad, you can control, but the Seaboard, of course, looks more like a traditional keyboard. It has a silicone feel to it. It feels really good. It's really nice to get expressive with your sounds with the Seaboard.
I'm trying to write my name.
But it is, again, different. But it's another portable MIDI keyboard if you're really interested in. All right, I've got a lot of other things come up here. What's my Instagram? Yes, follow me on Instagram at sanjayC, SANJAYC.
And me, only one, the number one, Darty, DHARTI, because there's only one Earth and we need to spread love, kindness, knowledge, and music.
Hey, Noah, welcome. Hey, Lux Elliott. Lux Elliott says, I just got a Moog sub 37 CV and my Touche works wonders with it. That's exactly what I want to do. That's why I'm looking into the Sequential Prophet 6, the hardware synthesizer, and then connect my Touche device to it and start getting crazy with the sounds. I love that. So Lux Elliott, how do you like the Moog sub 37? And is that your only synth, or do you have any others? And what synth would you recommend? All right. Cliff says, I have the Rolly Light Pad Block M. It's just a perfect controller. I agree with you, Cliff, about the Light Pad Block M. This is the original Light Pad. The Light Pad Block M is a little thicker, so you can press in a little bit more and it feels a little softer. The Light Pad M is a really...
You know where my mind was.
The Light Pad M is a really awesome controller because it's so portable. You can put this in your pocket and you have a MIDI controller, an MPE controller anywhere you go. It's really, really amazing. All right. Thanks for the answer, says Alexi. You're welcome. Want to see your video? Thanks for your video. This is Cliff. You're welcome, Cliff. Lex says, I enjoy the sub 37 a lot. Easy to get your head around it. Yeah, I want to learn a lot with those hardware synths, so I'm eager to get my head around a hardware synth soon. All right, so we are only here for a very quick Q&A. If anyone has any last second questions, type them in there now real quick. I I've got some videos coming, my next couple videos. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw the giveaway I was doing with the Devoom Aura box, but a winner has been chosen.
Yay!
And we're going to announce the winner.
I know who the winner is.
Sometime within the next week. And that giveaway, by the way, was the one where I asked you all to share your studio or music production tips. And I got so many great tips from you guys. So thank you all for that. I'm going to share some of the best tips in that video, as well as announcing the winner.
Hi, Ali. Cliff. He's asking, it's me?
I don't know, Cliff.
Find out soon.
Yes, you'll find out. The other video I've got coming up real soon is a video about splice.com. I don't know if you all know what splice.com is. You know that you can buy loops and sounds online. One of the famous places is Loop Masters, and splice.com is another sample loop library website out there, and I really like it. And I just want to share my experience with it. They've got a monthly subscription model, and the monthly subscription model allows you to just pay a little bit every month, and I pay like $7.99 and get 100 samples every month. So I want to tell you about my experience, the things I really like, the things I don't like. That video is coming up too. Lux says, have you ever worked with DaVinci Resolve to edit your videos? I recommend giving it a try. It's simply wonderful. I haven't. I'm going to have to look that up. DaVinci. All right. Thank you for that tip, Lux. All right. We're going to sign off here.
Why?
Thanks,
5 more
everybody.
minutes.
Thanks, everybody, for joining. And
thank you. Yay, for the participation.
Oh, wait, we got another question. Ali says, do you recommend composing with Mac or a good Windows laptop? What's the main difference?
There's a big difference between a Mac and a Windows.
I will say this. Go with what you know. If you're used to using Windows, I would say, especially if you're getting started with music, get started with what you know. You don't want to have to learn a new operating system and a digital audio workstation and all the new software. You don't have to deal with all that. So go with what you have. But my preference is a Mac. I find that I have less problems to deal with a Mac, fewer problems. Things just seem to work very smoothly. And Mac, there's some really good software that's built only for the Mac, like Logic Pro. But hey, use what you know. Get your hands on whatever you can get your hands on quickly. You don't have to have the most expensive DAW out there. Don't wait to get the most expensive MIDI keyboard or all the plugins you need. Get started now. Get to making that music. Learn with what you have and start putting your music out there. Share your music with everyone. Hey, if you've got a nice track you want to share with me, or you've got a track you're still working on, put it in the comments of this video, and I'd love to listen to it. If you've got any other questions, put them in the comments below, because we're about to sign off. Thank you all for your questions. Keep making the music that you love, and I will see you guys in another video real soon. Bye.
Bye.